welcome back to my kitchen. Today we have some leftover pork chops. I got a pack of them for $11, and we're just gonna take these and have these leftovers with some fried potatoes. So I'm gonna show you how I do these. Let me get a little room here. First off, make sure you're washing your hands. I'll be right back. Okay, so our pork chops have already been washed. I pre-washed them. I do like to wear gloves in the kitchen because when I'm touching meat, I don't know if there's anybody else out there, but I have a phobia of touching meat when it's raw. Okay, so in our first bowl, we're gonna have some eggs, and I have some lactose-free milk for me. And so I'm gonna whip this up. And in our second bowl, we have flour. So we're gonna put that first. And then we have Italian-style breadcrumbs. I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper to the flour. A little bit to my milk. And I'll leave this one alone. The only other seasoning that I used is this right here, Old Bay. You can buy this at any store, including the Dollar General. And it's pretty cheap at the Dollar General. It's not really that bad price-wise. It's going to last you a while. I make my chicken with this. Anything I fry, I make with Old Bay. It's the only thing. I love this stuff. This and cumin. I know a lot of people don't like cumin, but I'm a big cumin person. So we're going to put some in our flour and also some in our milk. And why not? Put a little in the other breadcrumbs. I'd like to say you can't have too much, but you probably could. So that's all we're doing with that. This actually has all kinds of seasonings in it, so it covers everything, but I always put a little extra pepper. We're going to fry these pork chops in our cast iron pan with a little bit of oil. So usually these are bone in, but when I get the ones without the bone, I pound them out till they're really thin. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so I believe we have 4 pork chops. Like I said, they were already rinsed off. So we're going to put it in the egg. And then, oh, I forgot to put my flour. Just mix that up a little. It's not going to hurt anything. And then we're going to put it in our flour. Just lightly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then back into the egg real fast. Let that drip off. And then into our breadcrumbs that I also forgot to stir. Can you tell I'm new at making videos? Anyway, and that's it. And that's how we're going to do all of them. So let's move to the stove and fry these pork chops up. While we're waiting on the oil to heat up in our frying pan, this is our cast iron frying pan. I've had this one a few years and it's in perfect shape. We've got our breaded pork chops here. And what I'm going to do with these is, once they're done, I'm going to lay them on this pan. This is just a cookie sheet with a paper towel and a little cookie rack. And I lay it on there because you want the air to stay under them so they don't get mushy on the bottom. If anybody else has another way to make sure they don't get mushy, let me know in the comments, because I'm all for help. Anywhere we can get it nowadays. So while this is doing, I've already cut up my bell peppers. That's an easy way to save some money, is get bell peppers. Either you can buy them pre-cut. They're really not that expensive in the freezer section. Or you can just buy them and cut them up yourself and freeze them. I also do that. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna, when I buy a tin of onions like this, I cut them all up, put them in my freezer, grab a section, a handful, throw it in the pan. I'm gonna probably use about 3 or 4 potatoes for my fried potatoes because these are little. If you have the large ones, I would say 1 potato per person. I fried these up first, I slice them, and I'll show you how they come out when we're done. And then I put some cheese on, whatever cheese I have in the refrigerator. Sometimes my husband likes the plastic cheese. Sometimes he doesn't get the plastic cheese, but he doesn't even know it. He never complains, so I guess he doesn't know. So we're gonna get this heat going, and then we're gonna fry up these pork chops. So our pan is starting to pop here. I put a little bit of water, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting my pork chops in here. And if you listen, you can hear that sizzle. I don't want to turn it up too high because they'll burn. Unfortunately, these are so big, I think we're only going to be able to get 2 in there at a time. And that's it. You want to cook them until they're just golden brown. Back in the day, I know you guys can't see me. Let's see if I can bend down here a little bit. Back in the day when I was younger, you were only supposed to eat your pork had to be completely cooked. I mean, it had to be just like chicken. You could not eat no pink in your pork. But now you can have pink in your pork. I can't get past when I was younger and no pink. So I do cook them right till they're, I want to say well done because I like them to be, I like not to have any pink. But I need them to be tender too. If you follow me on Facebook, I just had extractions done on the top and the bottom of my mouth. And I have to be really careful of what I make. So a lot of stuff you'll see me make might seem like it's mushy. And that's probably because it is, because I'm only at the 2-month. I still have my temporaries. And so these are not as sharp as the permanent teeth will be. So I have a problem because they have to keep shaving them down to fit my gums because they are shrinking at a wild rate. I think it's because I eat so many popsicles. Popsicles seem to be the only thing that make my gums feel better. So I'm going to say I probably eat 4 or 5 popsicles a day. But it's okay. I have beautiful teeth now and no more pain. I used to have pain continuously, but that's another story. So we want these to keep going until they're like a golden brown. I like them to be a little bit dark. I like the breading dark. I know a lot of people don't. They just like it to be just a light golden brown, and that's up to you. It's going to be your preference, whatever you like, however you like your breading. Me, I like that, kind of like the bits and pieces on the bottom of the pan when it gets burnt down there. That's my favorite part. reminds me of strudel. You can have the cake, just give me the strudel. So, okay. So we're gonna cook these up and we will see how they turn out. Okay, so these chops are done. You want it to be anywhere between 150, which is a medium well, I believe, to 160, which would be well done. So these are a nice golden, I got that little bit that I like. So I'm going to take these out of here and I'm going to set them on here and let them rest. And remember, when your meat is resting, this runs a little bit more. When your meat is resting, it's still cooking. Okay, let's get all them bits and pieces out of there. And those are our pork chops right there. Looking fantastic. This one is mine. It's a little more done on the other side. All right. Okay, so now we're going to cut up our onions. I'm gonna do the potatoes first, and I have the bag that I had my onions in, which is what I'm gonna peel the potatoes. I had to cut the end off of this one because it was pretty bad looking. But the rest of the potato is fine, so there's no need to throw it away. We are just gonna eat it. So once I get these cut up, or sliced actually, the peelings off, I'm gonna go ahead and wash them again. I've washed everything so far. I took the onions and took everything off and washed those because I'm gonna dice all those and put them in the freezer. But these are gonna be for our dinner to go with our pork chops. So if you're new to the channel, tell me where you're watching us or me from. And tell me what kind of, I don't know, foods that you like. What kind of seasonings do you use most of the time? Okay, let's get that off here. And be careful. I'm not a very big talker, so I have to think about things to talk about. It's probably not that exciting watching me peel potatoes. Okay, so these are done. Let me get these washed up and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we got all our potatoes. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna slice these in little slices. I like to use, well, I like to use my little knife here for doing this. And if you have a food processor, you can probably do this in the food processor. I just like to do it on my own. We're gonna fry these potatoes up with our onions in that oil that we cooked our chicken in. So we're trying to make sure we get kind of even slices, an even thickness, because that's the way it works better. And then I'm gonna put this little onion right here. Now I'll probably put this whole onion, or half of this onion for these amount of potatoes. We'll see how it works out. So let me get this chopped up. I'm just gonna dice this one. So I decided I'm just gonna do these little slivers. See how thin they are? And then I'll put my bell peppers in there too. I think that's it. And get these potatoes all fried up and we can have some dinner. So what I like to do is take my potatoes and kind of layer them out. Just layer them in the pan the best I can. It's not going to be perfect. We're not here to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. Just do your best. That's what I always told my kids. Do your best. As long as you do your best, you're going to do great. Oh, that one's a little thick. All right. I'm going to pour some more olive oil in here. And put some more potatoes. So on this bottom layer, we're going to sprinkle some of this sauce. I call it sauce. Sprinkle some of that. This has salt in it, so I'm really not going to be putting a lot of salt. And then we're going to put our pepper. Put some pepper. Now just put a tiny bit of salt. And then what I'm going to do is just keep layering them like that. Kind of, I'm going to say, like, in between these layers. I'm just going to make layers. They're not really like on top. They're just like in between. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the garlic. How dare I? And don't forget garlic. You can put regular garlic. You can put, what do they call that? Jarlic out of the jar. Anything that you want. If your potatoes, make them how you like. You don't like pepper, don't put pepper. You don't like salt, don't put salt. You like a lot of salt, put a lot of salt. I try not to do too much salt. It's my blood pressure, but I will put a little bit in there. So we can hear that sizzle. And you look on the bottom. You can see they're getting brown. You can, I like to put a lid on it after a little bit. Because that way the potatoes get really soft. I want them to be really, really soft. So we're going to let these brown and cook up a little while. And then we'll add our onions. And I had some black-eyed peas left from the other night, and that's what we're going to put on the plate with this. And that is going to be our dinner. Well, of course, it's pork chops, so we're not going to forget the applesauce. Okay, so they're starting to get brown. I had the lid on. So now I'm going to add my sliced onions on here. Break these big ones up. Ooh, that oil's hot. Don't stick your hand in the oil. Alright. Put it on that one. That one. Okay. So we're just going to leave these on top for right now while they keep cooking. There's a couple fell to the bottom, but we're going to put our lid back on and let it cook just a little bit more until those potatoes are nice and tender. So we're going to give these a stir now. I'm going to put that on my counter over there. And I'm going to add this little packet. There's not much in here. I always add this to my potatoes. Last but not least, you want to add in your peppers. I never add these in too early. They're not going to take long to cook. You don't need many. This whole bag of bell peppers has lasted me a very long time. And I have to get some more and start cutting them up. Alright, so it looks like it's done just the way I want it. So I've got my pork chop and some black-eyed peas, a little applesauce, and I'm going to put some of these fried potatoes and put some cheese on them. And that is what I'm going to be having for dinner. And this is enough potatoes for two dinners. Alright, so there you got it. Fried pork chops, black-eyed peas, and some fried potatoes. I think there was a little too much oil in that. Let's just see how they taste. I know how the pork chop tastes. I don't know if you can tell, but I've already been taste testing it. Let me see how my potatoes are. I put some cheese on here. Yep, my dentures approve. Okay. That's how I know if it's denture approved. Listen, come back tomorrow and we're going to make some soft tacos. We're just gonna find all the stuff out of our refrigerator and our cabinet and see what we can do with that. All right. Have a great night, and thank you so much for stopping by. Later.